Superman and Lois, episode 14, The Eradicator. Jasper cameo. Yes, right, ladies and gentlemen. So, we are here to, of course, review Superman and Lois. They took another hiatus. I'm getting really sick of the hiatuses. Apparently this one was for the Olympics. They do need to stop. We've had, I think this is the third hiatus. First one was because there was a break in the initial filming for COVID. Second one, I can't remember exactly what it was for. And then this one, again, I believe there's three. This one is because of the Olympics. Please stop doing it, because it's not... Jasper cameo even more now. Okay, good. It's not doing anyone favours in terms of viewership. It's not going to help anyone in terms of getting into the show. It stops the flow. And I don't want to sit here and complain about it, but it's something which does need to be noted, because although I'm going to review this episode, like, it does have an impact on the overall flow of the season. However, that being said, again, that's sort of my, whining out the way. Really enjoyed this episode. I can and the thing is, I'm complaining about it, about the breaks, because I really like this show and I love watching it on a week-by-week basis. It's one of those things that I've just consistently enjoyed. I'm fully invested and I have consistently recommended it because it's just a great show. It's very earnest in its approach to family life and portraying, fathers and family values and things like this. And it's just wholesome. It just works. And of course, not only that, Tyler Hoechlin is a really, really good Superman. Really, really good. And the Lois Lane's great in this. Very, very good. So, just as a quick recap, the end of the last episode, Morgan Edge escaped from the DOD. Okay. And he flew off up into the sky and became the Eradicator. Right? He was becoming the Eradicator, the device that his father wanted him to find. And it's basically a device which has the consciousness of all of Krypton in it. And it's how Morgan Edge created his Kryptonian army. Now, Morgan Edge has become the Eradicator. And it's actually what his father... It's actually quite well written. So it comes full circle. And in the opening one of this episode, we learned that was basically what his father was training him to do, is why he was inflicting so much pain upon his son. I mean, obviously it's not justified, it's completely dumb, and the guy's douche, but never mind. That's what he was training him for. He was telling him he must become the Eradicator. So his father wanted to sacrifice his own son to repopulate Krypton on Earth. Real bad, because of course Morgan Edge was like, there is another way, I will find another way. And I guess because of the sort of demoralization of what happened with Kal-El, removing General Zod from his body and breaking away from Morgan Edge and his father in his fortress in the desert, I'm guessing because of that and being captured and things like this, he sort of succumbed to being the failure that his father thought he was, and thus chose to just give up his life. Which is actually quite tragic when you think about it. And that's me, maybe that's me reading into it, but it did seem like a very defeatist attitude. So this whole episode is about that. That's the crux that everything pivots on. He has become the Eradicator, and they're still trying to find him. But they're still trying to deal with everything else that has happened in the wake of Morgan Edge and the Kryptonians wrecking Smallville. So, what is it that's happening? Well, they have to have a town hall meeting with the DOD, Smallville, because they want answers. And it kind of deals with that small town fear. Loads of people are leaving Smallville, businesses are shutting down because they're terrified. They are very, very scared of why the DOD's here. And they do use some quite outlandish language, like the DOD's an invading force and they're occupying Smallville and all this kind of stuff. And you just think to yourself, you did literally see Kryptonians flying around destroying stuff. You should probably have a little bit more consciousness of what's going on. Like, be a little bit more conscious, right? Come on. Like, very clearly, they're there for a reason. You saw the reason. There were Kryptonians flying around. Behave. So that does irk me a little bit. But not that much, because again, it's kind of small town attitude, that sort of thing. I get it. It also deals with Lana Lang, and her family looking to move, and the offshot of all of that, and the sort of pain and things like that, and them trying to sort of, I guess, come to terms with whether they want to stay or leave Smallville. And there is this really, really stupid scene, and I didn't appreciate it that much at all, where the husband goes to the fire station to go grab his things, and there's a fire woman there who's like, oh, when I started work, you stood by me, and everyone else thought, well, how can a woman do this, especially a black one? It's like the color of your skin doesn't affect whether you can fight fire or not, right? It just doesn't. The gender that you have can actually affect whether you are as capable as a man, because unfortunately that's just biology. But that sort of throwaway line just didn't need to be in there. It did come across. That's a line that you can throw it in other instances, right? But in the context of being a firefighter, the fact that you're a woman, and especially black, has absolutely no place. Like that is just very, very much just for Americans. Everyone else is going to look at that and go, just groan and roll your eyes. It's super dumb, absolutely unnecessary. And the thing is, if you want to push that forwards and sort of inclusion and acceptance, that's not the way to do it, because that's laughable. That particular line, in that context, super dumb. Like, ridiculously dumb. But still, again, there was that nice heart-to-heart where you could see he was starting to question himself, whether he was doing the right decision or anything like that. But he does get home, and he does get this offer to go and work in Bristol County, which then causes his daughter, who's, of course, dating, I think it's Jordan, the son with the powers, or Jonathan, one of the two. And then she obviously goes mental and is like, oh, no, I don't want to leave because, obviously I'm in love with, Boy Wonder here and all this kind of stuff. So that's the sort of family value element of this show, which they do very, very well. And you can see them building the relationships quite nicely. Like, there was a girl in the previous episode that is framed just trying to get information out of one of the boys, the one without powers, Jonathan or Jordan, whichever one it is. And they are starting to build that a little bit better now. It's not ham-fisted. It's done really, really well. She's like, well, look, I was actually smart. I'm the queen of mixed messages and all this kind of stuff. And you go, oh, yeah, I can kind of see that. And it's nice. Those things are good. The building of these relationships, these interpersonal things, I like it. And then we get to Morgan Edge being the Eradicator and the big cliffhanger crescendo. So I really like this episode because Morgan Edge comes back down to Earth. He rips out Lars? Can't remember her name, but the Kryptonian that he'd already created that was his PA, basically. Takes her out of prison and then goes to Metropolis and starts making more Kryptonians. And there's this big fight that ensues. And the CGI on a whole was actually really, really good, aside from one scene. Lois Lane is on the roof, reporting live, and that Lars person floats up behind her, and I'm like, God damn, that looks so bad. And it doesn't look bad when it's portrayed through the camera lens on the news report. It actually looks quite good there, but in what is deemed to be real life, actually happening there and then, it looked atrocious, looked real bad. So they should have just stuck with it being on camera. But it goes to some really nice and quite laugh out loud funny elements where John Henry Irons is trying to grab his hammer, and he finally gets the hammer and he throws it away, and a Kryptonian that's standing in front of him goes, oh, you missed. And the hammer just flies straight past this dude, flies all the way through Metropolis and smashes Lars in the face, and she just goes flying. And then it comes all the way back because John Henry Irons has summoned it back, and it smashes this other Kryptonian in the back, and he goes down. He goes, I never miss. He's just like, God damn. Very, very funny. Really enjoyable. And then Superman, John Henry Irons working side by side, good team now, go to attack Morgan Edge, and they can't get near him. Beams of blue light comes out and he vanishes, and they go back. And so that night, Morgan Edge comes down, big massive car crash, because he comes down in front of Jordan and Jonathan's grandfather driving them home from a party that they were at in this SUV car thing, and it just topples. It just goes. It was really, like, for the CW, they're spending that much money on that. It was really good. Like, it was a good car crash scene. It was actually good. And anyway, Morgan Edge rips the Boy Wonder out of the car, flies off up into the sky, and basically puts his father, the consciousness of his father, Morgan Edge's father, in Superman's son. And you look at that and you go, that's very poetic villainy there, isn't it? That is the ultimate evil. And I got Morgan Edge, the brother of Superman, puts his father into his son. Mental. There is definitely some poetic villainy there. I really enjoyed it. Strong recommendation. I cannot recommend this show enough. It is so good. But you do have to start at the start, because... of course you do. You need to watch it from the get-go, because I don't think you'd enjoy it nearly as much as I do now, having been invested. But they do a very good job at investing people. So there you go, there's my review. Always good. Consistently always good. They've not had a bad episode yet. I really like it. There's like small little dumb things that you go, oh, whatever. But on a whole, it's really good. So let me know what you think down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Again, do watch it. I've told numerous people to watch it, and they have. So please do go and watch it. I've got memberships open down below in the description box, along with Patreon, as well as my second channel. Check it all out. Cheers. Take care.